you got to communicate, you got to recognize actions, you got to get over, you got to get back, you got to get up. Because not everybody runs traditional zone offense anymore. It's more like motion. There's still ball screens. There's still, there's going to be overloads at some point. Screen across, and the first possession of the second half, screen across on the baseline. But if everybody's communicating, you can contest. But the key to it all was not so much the activity or the defense; it was rebounding. If you're gonna, that's why a lot of coaches don't play zone. They don't like it because you give up second shots. There's no individual blockout responsibility. But we did a really good job. Out rebounded a team that is typically really good on the glass.
Fran, both Owen and Peyton pointed to Drew as far as maybe an identity shift defensively. I guess, have you seen that?
Well, if you remember, we jumped them and they came back and responded and took the lead. He made 2 plays in the next 3 or 4 minutes that really, I think, changed the complexion of the game. So we end up going in halftime up 10 instead of, relatively close.
Fran, when you have really good offensive teams like this one, what are some of the key qualities that lead to that in terms of?
Well, it starts with the character of the guys. You gotta want to move and share the ball. You don't want to make it about yourself. Everybody eats, and we're gonna run and we're gonna attack space. And we're gonna move the ball and not call a set every time down and tell everybody, you line up here, you line up there, you line up there. We trust them to make decisions and make plays and get open and screen and slip and roll. And if they miss, run back.
Fran, I feel like I've asked this a couple times this year, but Drew, just in terms of his character, the culture that you guys have built, his connection to fans, outsiders wouldn't know that he's only been here 1 year. It feels like he's been here for 3 years. Why has he been such a perfect fit?
Well, that's who he is. I talked to his former coach, and he was effusive in his praise of who he is. Forget about what he does. His basketball performance in the past speaks for itself. The numbers are there. There's a reason why he won his 100th game this year. But his character is infectious. It just took him a little while to learn what we do and how we do it. And once he did, that was a game changer for our entire program.
It seemed like you single coverage on Maui, threw different bodies at him. What was just kind of the mindset going in, trying to slow him down?
Well, you can't let him duck in and get deep position on you. For a big, wide-body guy, he runs. A lot of guys built like him don't run. They jog down the floor and they just try to go in there and post you. But he tries to sprint and post early. He tries to react to the ball changing sides of the floor and gets you on the high side, because a lot of times you have to front him, or otherwise he'll just back you down and get it and go score. So you're on the high side, but if the ball swings and he seals you, you can't get back around. He's too big. So I thought Owen did a pretty darn good job of that. And he also challenged him at the rim with some of those shots, especially early.
Did you think those early turnovers you got have been kind of frustrating?
Well, I hope so. That was the plan. Every game, he gets some type of defense like that. Double the post, double them on the catch, double them on the bounce. Double them, when they think he's going to go into a move, chop him on a spin, whatever. Just try to put some doubt in his mind.
Just speaking of Owen's defensive performance, since that 15-minute mark of this last game, it just seems like he's been on a tear defensively. I guess what has changed for him?
He's locked in, and doing his work early. And that's really what it comes down to. Because if you wait and react at this level, you get in foul trouble.
Has the narrative of this team changed in the last 8 days, or is it simply a matter of that was just an outlier of a game at Madison?
Yeah, we played pretty well at the beginning. I prefer to give them credit for how well they played. They played a masterful game against us. Yeah, we did some things that we need to improve on, and we've done that. We broke the tape down and had individual meetings and got better. but you move on. If they have a really good team, was on the road, you learn from it. And, they'd be great.
What about the week ahead? I mean, assuming that you're going.
As of right now, we're going.
You're facing some highly unusual challenges, aren't you?
Yeah, but, you know, I look at it like this, Mike, everybody does. You know, we're in a league this year where teams on 2 different coasts. You know, you obviously have some different circumstances going on out there that are heartbreaking for so many. But, you know, you think about over the years, you know, we dealt with the pandemic, you know, we dealt with the January 6th riots. You know, you deal with what you can control and you stay locked in, you stay together. You know, it's certainly not gonna be a vacation. Never is. You know, in LA, but we're not gonna see the water. You know, we're gonna be locked in a hotel and we could be in Toledo.
Fran, there was I think 5 minutes to go in the game. You guys had 3 offensive rebounds in a possession that lasted about 80 seconds. I mean, does that just kind of symbolize the
I'm really
fight
proud of
you guys
Lodgy
have?
on that in particular. He wasn't the only one. But, yeah, I think that typifies who we are, and the character of this team. You know, they wanted to finish the game the right way.
One of your sons told me once that you allow your players to play with such freedom. I guess, so where did, that looked like it was a parent's night, but where did you, have you always had that? Has that always been your
I've always
style?
had it as a head coach.
Yeah.
You know, I've not always had it, you know, I've had good mentors, but not everybody that I worked for gave the guys that kind of freedom. But everybody does it differently. Coach McLeod always said to me, there's different ways to do it. Digger said, when you get to be the head coach, do it your way, I do it this way here. But I learned from him, I learned from Coach, I learned from my coach, Bob Weinhauer. You know, I've had good coaches, I've had good mentors, but my philosophy is real simple. You know, I think we tend to overcoach and overthink. My job is to get those guys to be the best version of themselves, and the way you do that is by empowering them to make plays and not calling a play and then when it breaks down, blame them. That is not a good formula in my opinion.
Fran,
Last question.
okay? Yeah, went back to Wacko.
If you ask him, he'll say he's fine. So we'll find out.
Fran, what's up with these second halves from Peyton?
It's not like we didn't expect it either time. You know, he's a competitor. He missed a couple early that he normally makes. Then he got a little sideways. I took him out, sit and watch, relax. But you could tell at halftime he was ready. And when he hit the first one, you know, you could see it coming.
All right, thanks, guys.